morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending. Users on social media have been reacting to comments made by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, who during a media parley on Monday voiced his strong opposition to the possible return of former presidential candidate Peter Obi to the People's Democratic Party, warning that such a move will be destructive to the opposition platform. He emphasized that it would be wrong to welcome back someone who had publicly discredited the party, stating that any suggestion of Obi's return would be an attempt to destroy the party further. Well, let's take a look before we take some reactions.
Even this one you have done now. To what? Bringing Obi to where? Obi to where? You want to kill the party the more?
You want
Obi that, I mean, you see, if somebody don't have characters, Obi that was abusing the party, that the party is rotten is this, so the party is good enough for you to come and run for, you see these people, ambition can make you even go to Satan's house. If you want to destroy this party, dare to bring Obi. Let me even Obi come. There's nowhere he will go because of ambition. Can't we be principled? Because you're looking for president. Anybody that, if he has not available, this person costs me, this person costs me. So no more ideology, no longer principle.
No ideology, no. Let me just take reactions. This is from Olufemi, who wrote, Mr. Nyesom Wike has declared that speculations about Peter Obi's possible return to the People's Democratic Party will damage the party. One remarkable trait of Nigerian politicians is their capacity to declare drowning as if it were graceful swimming. Since 2023, it has been evident that the fear of Peter Obi within the All Progressives Congress forms the very foundation of their political discourse. Wike himself recognizes that should Obi or Jonathan secure the PDP presidential ticket, the APC would face a formidable, perhaps insurmountable contest in 2027. In truth, Obi's candidacy under the PDP would be a greater asset than the relentless maneuvers of Wike, whose conduct appears calculated to render the PDP politically impotent and thereby ease the path for his candidate, President Tinubu, in 2027. Another ex-user wrote, if Wike was genuinely concerned about the PDP's survival, his actions would have been more aligned with supporting the party's official candidate. His actions in this context could be seen as self-serving rather than party-serving. Ultimately, this statement highlights the complexities and often contradictory nature of Nigerian politics, where personal ambition, regional interest, and party loyalty frequently clash. It serves as a stark example of the internal strife that can weaken political parties and influence the outcome of elections. Well, I thought this tweet was quite apt. But you know, Wike also weighed in on the political chatter surrounding former President Goodluck Jonathan. The FCT minister advised Jonathan against participating in the 2027 presidential race, stating that he should continue in his role as a respected international statesman. He claims that the politicians now urging Jonathan to contest are the very same individuals who betrayed him and worked against him during the 2015 elections.
You talk about Jonathan. I respect Jonathan very well. I know he enjoys the role as an elder statesman and somebody the international community respects, and I think he will continue with that. These people who are weighing Jonathan, what is their strength? Are they not the same people who played him game in 2015? Some of these people, I see what I don't like is people who are trying to play to the gallery. You have heard that there's a governor who intends to run. If that governor is true that he intends to run, how will Banana be saying that PDP is waiting for either His Excellency President Goodluck Jonathan, former president, or His Excellency Peter Obi? For Christ's sake, nobody should cause problem for the party. When you cause problem for the party, You now say people are behind this problem. You are the one trying to. How will anybody even contemplate?
Well, Dr. Bati, you know I'm coming to you. But before I come to you, there's been a lot of talk around whether former President Goodluck Jonathan would even be eligible to run in the next presidential election. Now, a previously unpublished court judgment exclusively obtained by Arise News from a federal high court in Bayelsa State confirms that Jonathan is indeed qualified to contest in 2027. Well, an excerpt of the high court judgment states, and I quote, "I declare that the provisions of Section 137, sub 3 of the Constitution acquired the force of law with effect from the 7th day of June 2018, and same does not have retrospective application. I also declare that the first defendant is not disqualified by the provisions of Section 137(1)(b) and 3 of the Constitution from contesting for election into the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2023 general elections. Consequently, I enter judgment for the first defendant and all the relief sought by the plaintiffs in their originating summons dated 16th May 2022, but filed 17th May 2022, fail, and are all hereby dismissed." And this was dated 27th May 2022 and signed by Honorable Justice Issa Dasen. Yes, go ahead, Dr. Bati. And we have this judgment at this moment, and it is exclusively obtained from Arise News. We know that as of now, aides of Goodluck Jonathan is still consulting to decide whether to run for president in 2027. Sources close to him even told This Day last night that he has been approached by 3 parties that all want him to contest on their platforms. I'd like for you to just, summarize some of those points, maybe starting with the point Wike was making about those that are pushing Goodluck Jonathan to run. He accused them of being, the people that betrayed.
Well, without prejudice to the fact that Nyesom Wike, as a citizen of Nigeria, as a member of a political party, as a politician, can express his opinions, I think that he is not in a position to be presumptuous and rude on his own part to think that he can dictate options to other players within the same polity. In other words, it does not lie in his mouth to tell Mr. Peter Obi whether or not he should return to the PDP. Even if he expresses that opinion, he cannot go as far as saying that if Peter Obi decides to return to the PDP, then he would destroy the party, because Peter Obi had said previously that the PDP is a rotten political party, on the basis of which he decided in the lead up to the 2023 elections to join the Labour Party. So Nyesom Wike occupying a moral high ground. He does not have the credentials to occupy that moral high ground. He says Peter Obi will come and destroy the PDP. What is he himself doing in the PDP other than destroying the PDP? He talks about character. If it is the issue about character, he cannot be in the right place to talk about character. Because the major issue in terms of his own membership of the People's Democratic Party is about his character. He is in the party and he's sabotaging the same party and he's giving a lecture on morality. So I see a contradiction here, and I see, a conflicted personality. Personalities are conflicted when, they don't understand basic issues about decorum and even basic common sense. Now, as for President Goodluck Jonathan did not leave the party. Okay? He has always been in the party. He says President Jonathan is a statesman. He should not come to the PDP. Again, President Jonathan has not spoken on this. Yeah. The people who have spoken are his cousin, Azibaola, and also, Ikechukwu Eze, his media assistant. And they both say, we don't need anybody's advice, whether it's Keyamo or it's Nyesom Wike. And so it's a very fluid situation. But in other words, it's up to the individuals involved to make up their own minds. So let Wike not give lectures presumptuously about choices that other people can make, when he himself does not even listen to advice from other people. So the issue about character that he has raised is about him.
All right.
What is the second issue? That's the one I actually wanted to comment upon. President Jonathan's eligibility. We had Monday Ubani SAN on this program this morning. We quoted Chidion Dikalu. We quoted Onikepo Braithwaite. And, you know, after a review of all of this by Monday Ubani, the judgment of Justice Dashen of the Federal High Court of Bayelsa, of Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. I think the date is actually 2022 because that ruling was given in the lead up to the 2023 general elections. However, at issue was Section 1371 and Section 1373 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The position of the judge is that, look, an amendment of the law by legislative action cannot have retroactive or retrospective effect. That amendment of Section 137 sub 3, having been done in 2018, cannot apply to President Jonathan.
Yeah.
Two, the fact that President Jonathan was sworn in as a vice president or even as acting president would not apply. We're not under the military dispensation of General Buhari when laws of Nigeria had retrospective effect, and I think Bartholomew Ojulope and 4 others were executed retroactively. This is a democratic dispensation that must operate under the rule of law. However, the point by Onikepo Braithwaite and Professor Odinkalu is that, look, we run a mischievous system. The APC and other interested parties may seek to exploit this if in 2027 or ahead of it, President Jonathan says he wants to run. But President Jonathan has not made any categorical statement. This is a case of people taking, I don't want to promote anybody, taking one medication on behalf of another person.
All right. Well, Rufai, in addition to speaking about the 2027 elections, Wike also defended the local government elections held in Rivers State over the weekend. He stated that the polls were conducted within the framework of emergency rule backed by constitutional provisions. Meanwhile, a video posted by lawyer and activist Inibehe Effiong appears to tell a different story. Well, this video shows men thumbprinting ballot papers during the Rivers LGA elections. Well, in a caption to the video, Effiong stated, "This is the sham they perpetrated in Rivers State yesterday. In the name of local government elections, we're not going to end this madness through online opinions or litigation." And you see this video here. Of course, it presents a stark contrast to the minister's defense, fueling public debate and raising serious questions about, you know, the legitimacy and transparency of the polls. This video, of course, has been trending since the weekend after the elections. Rufai on fire.
Anyway, when I heard the defense of what happened in Obiakpo and other parts in the local government elections, it was like a kindergarten trying to solve simultaneous equation. It's not possible. And it smacks of the hypocrisy of our democratic process. And like Fela says, is this democracy or demonstration of Chris? I think Nigeria has entered into the full-blown era of demonstration of Chris. It's no longer democracy we practice. See the argument they gave. See, go and check. Empirical statistics say Nigeria has 27% vote turnout, average 27% voter turnout. They claim in Obiakpo that they have 660,000 registered voters. See, and what they are claiming is that half of that 660,000 registered voters came out and they voted for the person that turned out to be the winner. In a country where there's high voter apathy, where it's over about 27%, remind me of any elections in recent time where we've gotten 50% voter turnout. So they claim that 660,000 people, 382,000 or 328,000 people out of that 660,000 people came out And they voted.
So we saw the
for one person in Obiakpo, and we are seeing videos, and we saw the streets of Obiakpo very empty.
Very, very empty.
And we are now seeing this video like this. And you see, they make the argument and they excite themselves. And I look at people like that make the argument for them. That hope when they do it against them, they will not complain. My second point, see, the Minister Wike, I think rather than doing all of this is political talk, I have work for him to do. I hear 3rd Avenue around Gwarimpa, there's a rubbish pile.
I saw you post that. It was so sad.
He should go and clean things like that. And the other place that they are rubbish pile in Abuja, because he's not busy enough. Rather than coming to play this hypocritical game he plays. The same person that is abusing Obi today.
Yes.
Please, you that are watching us, go and Google the video of Nyesom Wike praising Obi that he was the hero of the election. That is the one that didn't make power go to the north. That if he didn't come out, that is the hero of the election. He was praising him to high heaven.
Yes, we saw that. We took it
the
on
same
strength.
Peter Obi, Nyesom Wike that is saying Peter Obi distorted the party. Ask him, did he allow Atiku Abubakar, the candidate of his own party, campaign in Rivers State in the last election? Ask him, didn't they bring the situation about, they didn't book stadium and all of that? Ask him, didn't he destroy his party because things didn't go in his favor? Didn't Dino Melaye said he called him 19 times to solicit so that he would get vice presidential ticket running spot? When he didn't get that, he scattered his party. Ask him, if he had become vice presidential candidate, will he have said all he's saying? Today, that he's saying that Jonathan should be elder statesman, and ask him, is it not Jonathan's wife that solicited for him when he even wanted to emerge in the first place? Is the Jonathans not his benefactor? Ask him. So you see, when people talk, when it favors them, and like Dr. Abati said, you are correct, and I've always said this, because they have the monopoly of media, because Nigerian media is struggling in such a way that you can buy airtime, you can come and talk, and if you once they have the floor, they will talk, and people will not fact check them or anything. So he says a lot of things that are subject to fact checking. You see, when things does not go his way, he screams blue murder. He has the autonomy of thought because you can put a media chat on 2 or 3 stations and call journalists there to talk to you. And even half the time, you will not even allow the journalists talk. You will shout them down. You will destroy their credibility. You will say they don't know what they are saying. You want to even teach those that are coming to ask you questions and all of that. So when you look at all of these things put together, is it democracy we are practicing or demonstration of grace? I subscribe that we are in a full era of the demonstration of grace in our continent.
Well, all right. Ayo, in another development, former Kaduna State Governor Nasiru El-Rufai has weighed in on the political conversation as well, advising presidential hopefuls Peter Obi and Rotimi Amechi to stop making one-term commitments. While speaking on live television, El-Rufai stated that in his opinion, 4 years is not enough time to make meaningful changes. Let's take a look.
Now, on the question of people coming out and say, I will do 1 term, I don't think anyone believes that. I don't think it is right. You should not constitutionally give up what is yours. And frankly, as someone that has been governor for 8 years, and Amechi and Peter Obi have both been governors, they know the time it takes to make meaningful change in government. 4 years is not enough. So I want to appeal to everyone to stop making these commitments of I will do 4 years or I will do 8 years, because nobody believes you. You will go in there and change the story.
All right. Ayo, well, during that interview, El-Rufai also accused the federal government and some states of a kiss the bandits policy, alleging they are paying and offering incentives to armed groups. El-Rufai alleged that the policy was a national directive from the Office of the National Security Advisor, which he accused of negotiating with bandits. He also claimed that the UNSA was parading freed abductees as having been rescued by security forces, even after their families had paid ransom.
What I will not do, okay, is to pay bandits, give them monthly allowance, or send food to them in the name of non-kinetic. It's nonsense. We are empowering bandits. It's not the government of Kaduna State. It's a national policy driven by the Office of National Security Advisor, and Kaduna is part of it. Many states are objecting to that, but that is the policy now. Kiss the bandits. That's the new policy. My position has always been the only repentant bandit is a dead one. Let's kill them all. Let's wipe them. Let's bomb them until they are reduced to nothing. And then the 5% that still want to be rehabilitated can be rehabilitated.
All right. What a contradiction, Ayo. First, he says his position is, let's kill them all. And then the remaining 5%, let's rehabilitate them. How do you pick the 5%? It was quite, a controversial statement that El-Rufai made there. But in the meantime, El-Rufai's claim has been strongly denied by both the federal government and the Kaduna state government. In a swift rebuttal, the Office of the National Security Advisor called the allegations baseless, stating that no arm of the government was paying or giving incentives to criminals. The Kaduna state government described El-Rufai's comments as calculated, malicious lies meant to incite public anger and undermine security efforts. The government also accused him of attempting to destabilize the state, adding that his actions are a response to political losses suffered by his allies in recent by-elections. Now, instead of accepting the results, they said he has resorted to provocation and manipulation. Ayo, the Kaduna state government has always insisted on this position against, paying ransoms. We know that, and we have seen that time and time again. And they have maintained that they rely on military operations and community engagement. They maintain that they will not allow anyone to derail the progress that has been made in restoring security to the state.
Let me start from there. I think it's a good thing that the Kaduna state government has come to respond to this interview that was explosive in many ways. It made a number of assertions which you have summarized. Let me start with the first. The first around a one-term government. Linking that back to the previous story around, okay, should President Goodluck Jonathan run, Mr. Peter Obi should not run, is going to affect, his chances or destabilize the party on which he might choose to run. It just shows to me that there's a lot of sort of scares and concern from the main party, the APC, and emerging leaders, whether it's the APC or the ADC, and it shows that whether it be President Goodluck Jonathan or in this case Mr. Peter Obi, they are strong contenders in elections come 2027. And so a few of the things that have been said, as rightly will be done in politics, have been challenged, have been countered. And in this case, he's saying that one term, the promise of one term is a lie. Mr. Peter Obi has come out very publicly to say that he's willing to take a bond of a one-term presidency in order for him to hopefully gain the support of a particular region who expect that it's their turn come 2031. And that is also the appeal of President Goodluck Jonathan. What I would say that I might agree with is that it is difficult to see how 4 years can make a dent in the economy, political space, and a lot of areas that we have said have brought a big challenge or a challenge currently in Nigeria. It's very difficult to see.
Yes.
But I just say also that if given the opportunity, there's a lot that can be done in 4 years, especially if you come into power knowing already ahead of time what you want to do. We often look at the cases, even though some people might say it's apple and oranges, but I'll still use the example of in many parts of the world where you have a shadow cabinet. So you already know what you want to do before you get into power. Not that when you get into power, you start to make appointments. We recall a certain president who took months before he could come up with his list for ministers. So it means that while campaigning, you have no clue as to what you want to do when you get into office. And that is usually the story of a lot of leaders. They campaign based on rhetorics, no ideology. They have promises that they are not willing to meet. And if you ask them questions or challenge them on promises, they will dash it off. Like they will just change the conversation and just move on. We don't have ideas. We don't have leaders who have a plan for their people. Right. So I think that if we do have a leader like that, it is very possible to make an impact in one term. It's not, a lot of times it's not rocket science, that a lot of them are clueless and do not know what to do when they get into office. Now, with regards to his statements around bandits, yes, I also agree that we should not, we've often had the argument around amnesty for bandits, amnesty for terrorists, and that a no policy to that because these are criminals. We cannot have criminals who have killed people, destroyed lives and properties, come and then be given a handshake and be rehabilitated. I do understand the thought process process of the military in terms of non-kinetic. But I do think when it comes to non-kinetic, let us prevent what gets them into that position. But as long as they've done the crime, let them do the time. Yeah. And the accusations he said, this is political talk, oh, they are doing this, they're doing that. I just hope that he'll be very responsible with his influence and platform and not hit up the polity unnecessarily, especially through unsubstantiated, facts that he has come out to say. That's what I'll just say.
Hitting up the polity. And, he also made mention about, Southern Kaduna, which Northern Can responded, saying that some of his rhetorics are quite divisive because he said something about the Southern Kaduna people feel entitled and all of that. But I think that hitting up the polity at this time is quite unnecessary. And, a statesman like El-Rufai shouldn't be part of it. Shall we take another story now? In aviation, a viral video has captured the moment a passenger was forcibly dragged from an Enugu air flight. The incident took place at the Akanu Ibiam International Airport in Enugu. The passenger was allegedly removed from the aircraft over his refusal to comply with aviation protocol, specifically a directive to switch off his mobile phone. Well, according to reports from a social media user who was on the flight, the man repeatedly ignored requests from the pilot in command, which led to airport security having to intervene and forcibly remove him. Well, let's take a look.
I think he was
All right, Dr. Abati, this passenger is yet to be identified. You say they are calling it Kwam 3. But in that video, I understand Igbo. He was saying in that video, Hapmakanuku. It means, leave me alone. Leave my waist. Don't touch leave my waist. Did I steal? And which is quite the question. Why did they have to drag him out just because they asked him to turn off his phone? Is he a terrorist? Did I steal? And that was what he was saying. But that this whole incident at the end of the day has brought up that conversation about what it is that the Nigerian aviation has put to law, which is you have to make sure that you switch off your phone and that the airplane mode is insufficient. Dr. Abati.
Okay. Well, people are saying this is Kwam 3.
Yes.
But this is not quite Kwam 3. This will probably be Comfortemancy 2.
Comfortemancy 2, yes.
Okay,
but they say Kwam 2
for sure.
Comfort. So that's why they say Kwam 3.
No, but the circumstances are quite different.
Yes.
In the case of Kwam 1, he was carrying a flask containing whatever substance, and they wanted to board, and it was denied. In the case of Comfortemancy, it had to do with switch off your phone, don't switch off your phone. And in this particular man's case, whose identity has not been disclosed, it also had to do with the phone. You will recall that after those 3 incidents, whatever label anyone chooses to give them, it's about disruption of operations, flight operations, and the relationship between the airlines and passengers. Now, the aviation authorities, Ministry of Aviation, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, they came together and addressed the issue of use of phones. And they said, look, most of the aircraft we have in Nigeria, they are not aircraft where you use airplane mode. That it is better for the safety of everybody to switch off the phone during the duration of the flight. Now, this is about safety, which is a primal consideration in air travel. Now, NCAA, having made that statement, I think it's most unfortunate to find that the problem will persist. The Ministry of Aviation said they will have, a meeting, a retreat, where they will address all the issues and involve all the stakeholders. Maybe that has not happened. Maybe the investigations have not been concluded, and hence we have this repeat. My concern is this, about the average Nigerian. Many Nigerians are hard of hearing. They are unruly. They are stubborn. Indiscipline is woven into the fabric of their DNA, whether they are politicians or they are ordinary people. And this is why we must insist that the law must be enforced. I would have loved to see a situation whereby persons who violated aviation regulations, they are immediately arrested and they are submitted to the full weight of the law. Maybe when they make an example of 2-3 people who are stubborn, who will be challenging the pilot and challenging the security officials and be saying that they are, do you know who I am? The biggest problem in Nigeria, maybe Nigerians will begin to listen. 2, now persons who misbehave, there must also be a protocol in place about how to deal with them. The other day, they were exposing the nakedness of Miss Comfort Emerson, which had also its catalytic effect in terms of the sensibility of Nigerian men who saw that as an advantage. Now, in this case, they were pulling this man's waist. And you were saying, Anu Kwakaka.
No, it didn't say Anu. Hapumaka Nuku. It means leave my waist.
Don't
touch my waist. That's what I said. Don't touch my waist.
What are they looking for around his waist? Because his waist is also close to a very, very vital area.
We call it vital asset.
So, what is wrong? What is wrong with this airport security officials?
I don't get it.
So, we should be serious in this country.
This is it.
We enforce the law.
Yes.
We educate the people. When we investigate, we get to listen to the outcomes. And all the people who are involved should be sanctioned appropriately.
All right.
So that we can have a country run on the basis of the rule of law.
All right.
And people will stop attacking people's chests and people's waists.
Well said, Dr. Abati, well said. Now on our milestones. Today, September 2nd, marks a significant day in Nigeria's political landscape as His Excellency Vice President Kashim Shettima Mustafa celebrates his 59th birthday. He's the 15th individual to hold the nation's second highest office. With a background in agricultural economics from the University of Maiduguri and the University of Ibadan, Kashim Shettima's professional life was initially rooted in the private sector. He held high-ranking executive positions, including a general manager at Zenith Bank, before a profound call to public service reshaped his career. In 2007, he stepped into the Borno State government as Commissioner of Finance, a role he would hold in multiple ministries over 4 years. This experience laid the groundwork for his eventual election as governor of Borno State in 2011. His election as a vice presidential candidate for the All Progressives Congress in 2023 was a culmination of his remarkable career. Since assuming office on May 29, 2023, Vice President Kashim Shettima has been a key figure in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, fostering on economic revitalization and playing a pivotal role in diplomatic efforts to attract foreign investment. Well, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has also wished the Vice President a happy 59th birthday, wishing him renewed vitality, wisdom, and more years of impact. We at Arise News wish him a happy birthday as well. Well, in the same vein, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has also rejoiced with the governor of Edo State, Monday Okpebolo, on the occasion of his 55th birthday, describing him as a committed Democrat dedicated to serving his people. Governor Okpebolo turned 55 on Friday, August 29th. Tinubu acknowledged the governor's devotion to good governance and the welfare of his people, especially at the grassroots, noting that his leadership reflects a strong sense of responsibility and an uncommon bond with the people of Edo State. The president also hailed the governor's contributions to fostering peace, unity, and sustainable development in the state and urged him to sustain the tempo, praying for his continued good health, wisdom, and strength as he steers the affairs of Edo State. It's a celebration on the milestone. Happy birthday, Governor Okpebolo. Well, let's take our final story under entertainment. We promised to bring you this story yesterday. Over the weekend, Miss Anambra Onyinyechi Basil was crowned the new Miss Universe Nigeria in a competition that took place in Lagos on Saturday, August 30th. Her winning moment came after an intense competition with 22 contestants from across the country competing in swimsuit, evening gown, and question and answer segments. Just before Basil was announced as the winner, it was only her and Miss Lagos, Damilola Bolarinre, who were the last women standing. Let's play that moment.
The winner of tonight's competition, please welcome Miss Anambra.
Hey, congratulations to Miss Basil. She described her win as a dream come true. She's going to represent Nigeria at the Global Miss Universe pageant, which is slated for next year. I'd love to thank you. I know you were crying for Miss Lagos. Don't worry, there'll be another time. This time, Anambra know they carry last. I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on what's trending. Well, that's all.
Like, share, subscribe for more political news and updates. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.